So you want to be a guild master? You think you have what it takes? Let's find out. So let's start with the broad strokes. While this video will focus largely on World of Warcraft, both retail and classic, large group leaders in a variety of games have many different titles, including guildmaster, clan leader, squad or fireteam leader, etc. Fundamentally, it's a leadership position. And here, we'll go over 4 major categories that every current or would-be guildmaster needs to fully understand in order to have the best shot at succeeding. First up, we have workload management. I'll be blunt, it's a lot of time. If you don't have the time to put in, you're very likely not going to see fruitful results. Even if you do have the time, executing everything you need to do as a leader will take an efficient and effective approach to get everyone on the same page. Like any major time sink, you'll need to be able to balance this with other responsibilities you have, whether it be work, school, familial obligations, friendships, and other hobbies. They all have priorities catered to an individual, and I'm not here to tell you how to prioritize your life, only that being a guildmaster incurs a lot of deadlines and a lot of unannounced problems that will need your attention. Here are just some of the things you'll have to plan around. Raid or group activity hours, guild or clan meetings, officer and role meetings, document creation and upkeep, recruitment and retention efforts, general community upkeep and management, whether that be your server, Discord, website, what have you, and individual care for your membership. Again, these are just some of the things you'll have to tackle in your day-to-day. And do remember that you're doing this for a reason. These things are either fun or can be made into enjoyable experiences. It's all up to you. And speaking of you, that's the best next thing to know. Understanding yourself. Knowing who you are without the cloud of insecurity or bravado is going to be your best asset going forward. People are incredibly complex, but if you'll bear with me, I like to break it down into 2 basic personality types, type A and type B. Introverted, extroverted, you know the drill. A common assumption is that you need to be that outgoing type A to be a leader in any environment, which simply is not the case. Type A's are generally passionate and outgoing, have an easy time communicating with others, and find motivation where others can't, and can set goals far beyond the general populace. The downsides, though, are that they can be prone to hostility, have unnecessary competitive streaks, be seen as intimidating or hard to approach, and have a hard time handling the stressors of likely inevitable failures of lofty goal setting. Type Bs can generally be more flexible and adaptable. They generally remain more calm under pressure, and their more relaxed composure can make them more easily approachable, as well as having a higher penchant for creative problem solving. However, they may also tend to procrastinate more in both their work and in putting off much needed conversations. They tend to be good listeners, but not very good communicators, and relaxed attitudes can be interpreted by others as a lack of care. Communication is incredibly important to building a community and solving problems. It could honestly be its own category, but it makes more sense to include it here because if you're able to understand yourself, that's the first step to understanding others. Both types can be equally effective if leveraged properly. Both have strengths and weaknesses, and before you can leverage the skill set, you need to understand that skill set and what you are without inadvertently putting yourself into a bottle. It's likely you fall somewhere in the middle and lean in a certain direction. You can take an online test all you want, but the only thing I would recommend is to do some soul searching and come to your own conclusions on how you can best use what you bring to the table. And you'll need that for the next task at hand, handling adversity. There will be adversity. You will have disagreements, you will have missed deadlines, you will have people leave your community or quit the game that you're playing, and many more failures along the way. Every upstart entrepreneur was told early on that almost everyone's first startup fails, including the most successful people in the world. It's supposed to be a lesson, but for most everyone that hears it, including yours truly, it's taken as a challenge, that they alone will be the exception that breaks the rule. It doesn't happen. Understanding that these little failures are inevitable in the macro view of things, and that they are in fact little, is the first step in handling the stress and sense of loss that some of these events may bring. How you respond is everything, and will mean the most to the people that you serve and whose trust that you've earned. So own up to your mistakes and take responsibility for things that go wrong under your watch. That doesn't mean to fall on the sword any chance you get, because people can smell a disingenuous apology a mile away, but it does mean to stay in tune with what you have the ability to affect and understand when you've come up short, not for self-flagellation, but to grow as a leader. And with the myriad of problems requires solutions that no one person can offer, which brings us to the very best way to maintain a community in motion: delegation. The act of delegating is the single best tool you have in your arsenal. Of all the previous categories, delegating responsibility helps every single one of them. It lowers your workload, allowing for more time, less stress, and higher quality work. It allows you to have people take over tasks that your understood skill set isn't the best equipped for, utilizing the strength of others. This allows for stratification of responsibility and a structure for disseminating accountability instead of having all that weight be on one person. It sounds easy, and the pros here are so obvious, but I assure you that it's much more difficult than it sounds. It's not uncommon to have lingering doubt that a task can be executed properly by someone else, or that you may have an aversion to giving what you perceive to be orders or commands. You may struggle with not having total control of outcomes, and the fear of someone else failing a task that you could have done runs deep. But much like how you can't let fear stop you from doing great things, you can't allow it to stop others as well. The hardest part is your investment in the community is likely the highest of anyone else in your organization, and it can be difficult to relinquish that control to other people. But you gotta do it. You gotta bite the bullet, pick good people for your officer corps and your leadership team, and let others help you complete what you're trying to build. This isn't made to scare anyone out of going for it, but simply to set expectations. It's totally doable, and there are many amazing guildmasters out there that have fostered awesome communities for people to thrive in. If handled correctly, it can be an incredibly enriching and rewarding experience. Don't be afraid to fail. Go for it. There's no world in which you don't come out on the other side improved in all of these aspects if you just let yourself get the experience needed. Thanks for watching, guys. This is just the first part in an ongoing guild leadership series I'm doing that will cover more topics like guild basics, advanced guild leadership, how to lead a guild, and even how to raid lead. So stay tuned for those and more. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. As always, stay passionate, and I'll see you guys in the next one.